Under the cover of darkness late last month, the men of the 2nd Platoon moved out to become the lead element in one of the biggest military actions in Afghanistan since the initial invasion 6 years ago. This is the first on-the-scene reporting of a battle the U.S. Army has said little about.
My element will be the first element that will air assault.
Called Operation Rock Avalanche, it was meticulously planned with a sand and dirt mock-up of the areas in the Korangal Valley that would become a deadly battleground. The targets were the suspected hideouts of Taliban and Al-Qaeda foreign fighters.
The lumberyard is where we believe that there's a lot of the caches.
Each squad leader was called on to review his assignment, including Sergeant Larry Rugel, who leads the scouts, the soldiers who take point.
My task is to occupy an internal support by fire.
At age 25, Sergeant Rugel of West Jordan, Utah, would 4 days later become the first U.S. casualty of Operation Rock Avalanche. His good friend, Sergeant Kevin Rice of Wisconsin, would be seriously injured.
Vegas is over here.
I think it'll be a good operation, but I think that there's definitely a high probability that somebody will probably get hurt.
No, the back steps.
As the 2nd Platoon packed up to go, the men told cameraman Tim Hetherington they were nervous.
I'm always nervous. Sometimes I hate it. I like the camaraderie, but the constant firefights. I'm ready to go back to Chicago.
On the first day, 2nd Platoon drew the toughest assignment, moving directly into a village called Yakachina, which U.S. intelligence reports said was full of insurgent fighters.
If there's something in there, this could get real dicey real quick.
But when the men moved in, it was a different kind of dicey. An earlier rocket attack by U.S. helicopters on this house had killed 5 people and injured at least 7 more, including children. The village elders are furious and not at all pleased at the attack taken by 2nd Platoon Lieutenant Piosa, who demands to know who is hiding the Taliban fighters and why so many weapons have been discovered in the village.
If you tell me where caches are, where they're keeping their weapons, where the bad guys are, we'll go get them right now. You know, I could offer you something that would help your family. Whether it's food, money.
An elder says there are no Taliban in the village.
He said that there is 5 guys already dead. Show me which of them is the Taliban.
Are you calling me a liar that I got shot at last night? They're in amongst your village. And I'm sure there's somebody standing here that knows where they're keeping weapons.
As tensions escalate, U.S. helicopters take out the injured children for medical treatment and bring in Captain Kearney and his boss, the battalion commander, Colonel William Ostler, to try again to calm things down with the elders.
They pay your sons a small amount of money to go ahead and shoot at my soldiers, and my soldiers end up killing your sons. I don't like you being in the middle. I want you to live a good, peaceful, safe, stable life.
But it does not go well. And later, Captain Kearney tells our cameraman the elders want revenge for the deaths of the villagers killed in the airstrike.
The elders basically want jihad down here in the Korangal, and whatever they want, they're here to assist, so we'll see what happens. But it doesn't sound very good for us, huh?
It was a sense that we were now going to be hunted, and that was not a great feeling.
The jihad begins on a beautiful fall day in the Korangal Valley.
Good morning. I'm doing this for you people. You see this? This is great, right?
As they eat breakfast, the 2nd Platoon does not know it. But Taliban fighters are setting up an ambush in the hills overlooking the village.
Fun begin!
There's chaos as the shooting begins and the adrenaline flows.
I'm the wrong one to play with. This is what we get paid to do. This is it right here.
Then comes word that the scouts have been hit. Under fire, the men, with our cameraman right with them, rushed to the scene.
And we ran up to the ridge expecting there to be fighting, and instead we came across the scene of the scouts and of part of 2nd Platoon that had suffered casualties.
A grim discovery.
Who's over there? Who's over there? Oh my God. I saw that Sergeant Rugal had been shot, and I saw there was just pandemonium.
Oh no, there's still guys out here. Okay, there's still enemies. It's alright, still out there.
It was a really awful sight, very hard sight to digest, where men were in such a state of shock. You know, I think I was in a state of shock too.
Hey, they took fire from right over here. Okay?
Two friends, Sergeant Rugal on the left, Sergeant Rice on the right, had both been shot.
There's nothing we can do, bro. There's nothing we can do.
They were surprised, and Rugal was shot. Yeah, he was killed instantaneously. Rice was shot through the stomach, and he managed to walk out of there.
It was Rice's third Purple Heart.
Hey, you guys need to...
Commanders moved quickly to get their men back into the battle.
But you need to push back, too. We got not enough cover here.
I know, man.
You need to push back.
I know.
Come on, pull it together, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, it's my fault, man. It's not your fault. There's nothing.
Basically, right now, where we were being attacked in at least 270 degrees of contact. Taking contact from the west, south, and the east. I don't know what I'll say.
In war, there is no time to grieve.
A devastating blow to the platoon. When we come back, how they find the strength to keep fighting. We return once more to Brian Ross's report on the 2nd Platoon of the 173rd Airborne's Battle Company, fighting for every inch of ground in the hazardous hills of eastern Afghanistan. In the first 5.5 months since its deployment, the 173rd has already fought 450 separate battles with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and lost 16 soldiers. We rejoin them now after they've suffered a devastating loss. But there's no time for grief. They're still a long way from safety or security.
In the Korangal Valley of Afghanistan, getting out is the hard part.
You're not leaving any men behind. I'm sure not leaving any equipment behind either.
There would be another ambush and another.
2251, 2255. If we got 810s, I want gun runs from from east to west coming in, okay?
And more death before the men of the 173rd Airborne Battle Company could reach safety. Sergeant Joshua Brennan of Oregon would be the next to fall.
The insurgents came to try and drag his body away whilst he was alive, and a medic nearby Mendoza ran up and tried to save him.
Specialist Hugo Mendoza of Arizona, a medic known to his men as Doc, was shot dead as he kept the Taliban from taking Brennan alive.
Brennan was taken out by helicopter later, but died of his wounds.
The paratroopers of the 173rd Airborne paid a heavy price in Operation Rock Avalanche, which commanders say achieved its goal of disrupting the Taliban and Al-Qaeda cells in the villages here.
I think we've stirred up the hornet's nest in the entire valley. I think we killed quite a few of them. I think the bad thing is that we did kill a couple innocent civilians. And the valley elders I think they're kind of turning against us a little bit.
In their first 6 months in the Korangal Valley, the 2nd Platoon has suffered a killed or wounded rate of about 1 in 4. They will be here for another 9 months in the front lines of the other war.
Our admiration for the brave soldiers on the front lines and our prayers with the families of those who gave their lives. And you can read Sebastian Junger's full report and see Tim Hetherington's photographs in the January edition of Vanity Fair on newsstands the first week of December. And our thanks to Brian Ross. We'll be right back.